Welcome to Coastal Cooking with your host, Carmela Campbell. Coastal Cooking is celebrating our 20th anniversary of bringing you the Gulf Coast's finest chefs cooking their delicious recipes with natural gas. This show is brought to you by Pensacola Energy, clean, efficient, natural gas. And now, Coastal Cooking.
My guests today are Mike Desorbo and David Bain from Culinary Productions. Welcome, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
We are really in for a treat today.
Yes, we've got 3 great items. Easy, I think, to do, easy to work with, kind of quick to put together as well. So it'll be something quick, easy for people to get in there and kind of make up and enjoy and, just go to it with family, friends, even little ones if you want to get them in there helping out as well. So we're going to start off with a crawfish fritter. We're going to make kind of like a little crawfish hush puppy, we call it sometimes.
Oh, good.
That has crawfish tails in there, some sauteed peppers and onions and stuff like that. Then we'll roll into our low country boil saute, we call it. So a nice big cast iron pot we're going to pull out, and sausage and potatoes and corn and shrimp. So nice Gulf shrimp right over there, right out fresh out of the Gulf. So and then we'll end with a banana praline bread pudding. So we're excited
Should be fantastic
about that.
stuff.
Yes,
Wow.
a staff favorite as well.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of jump
is
into it
great.
and get going.
Let's do it.
Well, first we're going to start off with our crawfish fritters, and basically with the fritter, we're just going to build a real simple batter that we're going to deep fry. We're going to deep fry at, we're going to start out right around 375 degrees because the temperature is going to drop. We want to keep those nice crispy texture on the outside and really make the magic happen with the oil. Because with the control of gas, we can really monitor that temperature, and it's a no-brainer and a no fail. So first we're going to just start out with about a cup of flour. That's just regular all-purpose white flour, and then a cup of cornmeal as well. Get those guys in there. Go ahead and get 1 egg.
And obviously that's going to be our base there. That's going to be the part meat of the fritter there. That's going to make the whole consistency of it up.
Yeah, and that flour just needs a little bit of seasoning, so we're going to put about a tablespoon of salt in there, about a teaspoon of garlic, a little black pepper, just to build all those flavors as we go so it stays consistent throughout. And a little Cajun seasoning. That's just a mixture of kind of all those ingredients with some onion powder and some cayenne, a little flair to it.
Give a little punch to it.
Yeah. So we got all that going there. We're just going to set that off to the side. Now the crawfish tails, you can pick them up locally and all that kind of good stuff. And it saves you a lot of trouble when they're already out of the shell and all.
Yes,
A lot of time.
yes.
Exactly.
So
And they're pretty much ready to go. So we're just going to give them a rough cut in order to not make them so whole that when we fry them, when we make the fritters, they're going to fall apart. But we don't want to puree them down or chop them to the point where we don't get that flavor and the meat in there, which
And
is...
you can't see that they're crawfish.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, that's what we want to avoid.
we're going for a little
sure.
bit of, I call it like a little bit of a rustic look to the fritter. So
I love, like, even crab cakes, being able to see the crab.
exactly.
Chunks
It's
of
kind
crab
of the same
in there.
thing, right? And we don't want them to look like they're too pre-formed per se. So we like that rough cut to all the ingredients in there. I like the way that it looks once it gets all fried up. You can really see the meat of the crawfish in there. So good, easy dish for sure.
So it's kind of a 1, 2, 3 process. We got about a cup of crawfish in there, a cup of all-purpose flour, and a cup of cornmeal. So if you want to think about it in that 3-way system, we can do that. We're just going to use the ends of these peppers here. You want to make sure that we use as much product as possible and recycle. You don't want to throw anything away. Maybe if you have a compost pile or something like that, you can keep the stems and get your garden grown now that it's getting towards springtime. Be nice stuff. So.
And fritters are so much fun.
They are.
You can make all kinds of fritters.
That's the thing. That's what we like about the dish. It's not just, it can be anything you want to put in there. From the crawfish meat to just peppers and onions, almost like a traditional hush puppy, so to speak. You can put the andouille sausage in there.
Corn fritters.
Corn. We put
fritters.
gator tail meat in there before.
Sure.
So
Those
you
are
can
nice
really
too.
kind of jazz it up, make it your own for sure.
Yes.
Whatever you want to put in there.
And they're great for entertaining. They're great as a garnish if you have a fish dish that you just want to throw, some hush puppies on the side of or something like that. So they really work universally.
And they go together really quick. I mean, we haven't done really any pre-prep to this. It's all, Dave's making it up right here as we go along. So it takes no time to get everything chopped up, and don't worry about, as long as you have it roughly the same size when you're chopping peppers and onions and even the crawtails. You don't have to get it precise, everything the same size, especially with the hot oil, it'll get everything cooked up the right way. So.
You can have all this ready, and then right before your guests come, drop it in the oil.
So you can easily do all this preparation morning of or evening before, where all your peppers and onions and crawfish are already, chopped down. Put them in a little Ziploc bag in the refrigerator overnight, and just dump everything in a bowl, mix it together. You're ready to go fry.
And you guys are the experts.
We like to think so.
I mean, being caterers.
Yes.
Talking about having to be prepared and get as much things done.
Exactly.
Beforehand.
That's the big thing with the catering. It's a lot of pre-preparation. So, and all kind of at the last minute. So.
And I can always tell caterers because they're so organized. you all came in here, I mean, it was like in 5 minutes, all this was done, unwrapped, and ready to go.
Well, yeah, we.
It's in your nature, isn't it?
It is. You kind of have to be, I think, definitely organized, a little OCC, I think, as a CD at times, I think, especially. Make sure everything's in its right space so you have everything you need. So it's a big component for sure.
For sure. And speaking of components, we're just going to add in a little bit of our liquid here. I have about a half a cup of milk I'm going to put in there. And then with your fritters, as you develop different recipes and things like that, you're going to have to make adjustments. And the most important adjustment you want to make is on that liquid. So first we're going to stir it up here and see where we're at. And then we're just going to add some water back into it until we get the consistency that we want. But as you can see, we got a light. What we talked about before is the nice big chunks of goodies that are in there. That's really going to satisfy some people as opposed to getting those fritters that, seem a little bland or more like a hush puppy. So,
right.
I'm just going to add a little more water in there.
Okay.
Yeah, and that'll kind of, again, help thin it out just a little bit. And, the batter itself, want a little bit of almost the consistency of almost like a cement mix, I'd say, a loose cement mix. Heavier than a pancake mix a little bit. That way it'll hold together in the hot oil and not fall apart in there. And today we're frying them again to have just a different look to it where it's not so uniform. We just use a couple of tablespoons that Dave will show you how we just kind of roll them right out of the spoon into the oil.
Okay.
They have little hush puppy scoops. You can actually go buy like a little mini ice cream scoop. So it makes it real easy for you, especially if you want to get the same size, same shape for every single one. If you want to go that route, pick up one of those guys. Any grocery store, anything like that will have those for sure.
All right. So I'm pretty satisfied with the consistency that we have here. Again, just above a pancake mix and that kind of thing where it's just coming off the spoon. We still have a little bit of stick to it. And like Mike said, we're just going to roll it off the spoons and drop it into our oil. It's going to give us a nice rustic look to it. And, it's going to be tasty. So let's have at it.
What type of oil, Mike?
This, we're using a vegetable oil. If you want to go a little healthier, you could definitely use like a sunflower oil if you wanted to, anything like that. Grapeseed oils are coming around the corner, a little bit of a new trend with things as well. So you can definitely vary it a little bit and make it a little bit more healthier for you as well with the frying process of it. So.
And does it have to be at a certain temperature?
Yes. I mentioned before we're going to go a little bit higher than you would normally. So we're at 375 right now. I'm gonna use the advantage of gas right here to bump up my temperature so I can keep that consistent temperature, which is really the universal key to gas. So once we drop a cold item into that oil, of course it's going to bring the temperature down. But we want to keep that temperature as even as possible to make that cooking process finalized and consistent.
Okay.
So we're going to get,
a nice big heaping spoonful of it is what we're looking for. And again, you can use a bigger or smaller spoon. You can make these smaller, bigger, one bite-sized type of item.
As big as you want.
Exactly. Again, that's what we like about this item and the product itself is that, again, you make it your own.
And for
whatever.
catering, you know, when you pass hors d'oeuvres, these would be perfect. wouldn't they?
Exactly, and we use them kind of on both sides. There's a little appetizer that we do pass around and make them smaller. And then if we're doing maybe a low country boil or a fish fry, something of that nature, we'll go a little bit bigger with them for a little bit heartier portion. So it
Great.
works well either side of things.
But these probably won't take very long.
No, not at all.
They do not. I
Yeah,
mean,
about
they're just going to take,
2.5, 3 minutes.
Yeah, 2-3 minutes or so, and they'll be done.
Right, and I didn't overload the fryer. That's one thing you want to be concerned about is putting too much product in there because as it takes time to add product, of course, you have some cooking in the beginning and then some cooking in the end. So just start out with 6, see what your oil will do for you, and then as you progress and as you learn, you can go from there.
Okay.
A lot of times we run a test fritter, just 1 or 2 in order to make sure that you know what you're doing because
Right.
you'd hate to waste a whole batch and have to start again.
That's a good idea.
Staff doesn't mind that either.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
we always
Right.
need
Got to sample those
someone,
fritters.
quality control, we like to call that.
You know what? This would be a good time to take a commercial break.
Sure. All right.
And we'll have these ready when we get back.
Sounds good.
Fantastic.
Stay with us.
Natural gas dryers may cost a little more than electric ones, but they dry clothes quicker, making them cost half as much to run. So now who's getting taken to the cleaners? Learn more at PensacolaEnergy.com. Heat pumps don't pump much heat. In fact, heat from an efficient natural gas heater can be 30% warmer, and you can get up to an $800 rebate when you install one. Warming up to natural gas yet? Learn more at PensacolaEnergy.com.
And here are our fritters.
Yeah.
They're
Fried to
really fantastic.
perfection. They
Well,
do.
I hope so. One rule of thumb we can kind of use with these fritters is once they float, they're just about done. So you might want to let them go about 30 seconds after that. And we're just going to drain them a little bit on this paper towel and go right onto our serving tray. So that can sit out on your bar or your serving spot. And we're just going to garnish them up with a little paprika,
Those look so
a little
good.
green onion.
And you made a remoulade sauce?
Yeah, just a little simple remoulade sauce. That's mayonnaise, ketchup, maybe a little pickled relish if you want to. You can really throw anything in there, capers if you want to, stuff like that for sure. Give a little
Perfect.
saltiness to it.
Perfect. And our next dish.
We're moving on to the next one. We're going to do an elevated low country boil. Something that you can plate for dinner as opposed to the outside environment where it's all hands-on and that kind of thing. But we're just going to set it up with a little bit of butter.
In that beautiful cast iron
In that
skillet.
beautiful cast iron
That
skillet.
is priceless, isn't it?
They are, I tell you.
When you get a good seasoned one,
You do, and
Don't
they
let
stay
it out of
around
your
for
sight.
years and years and years, generations. Sometimes,
Generations, you're
without a
right.
doubt. So they're great to use. These used especially for something like this. So,
and that is such a good size.
yeah, nice and big, so everything fits in there. Works well if you're making this dish for 4 or 5 or 8 or 10. So a good sized dish for sure will help out. Getting it nice and hot, and you can do this inside. So this is something that
Yes,
your traditional boil, your big pot of water that you got to boil up and add the components to. This we've tried to simplify it a little bit and just saute everything down in some butter, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
You can even take your potatoes if you wanted to. You could either parboil them, pre-boil them a little bit. Or if you want another element to it, you could roast them off in the oven a little bit beforehand.
Oh,
but
that'd be good.
They'll brown up a little bit in the butter here as it gets hot and whatnot. And again, just facilitates the cooking or heating process for the potatoes. Potatoes are going to take a little bit longer to cook. So we kind of parboil these potatoes so they're real easy to saute down and cook off evenly with the rest of the dish as well.
That's exactly what we want to achieve here is that these parboiled potatoes, and I want to put color on them. Give that texture on the potato itself to really lock that in. We're also going to deal with some corn. There's some pre-shucked corn. You can buy it, at any market and that kind of thing.
Right.
And we're just going to
Saturdays downtown, even if you want to head down to the market downtown. And
Halifax Market, you're right.
Exactly. So, and again, we're going to take the corn off the cob, make it easier for your guest as well.
That's a
without
good
having to
idea.
have, the cob in there picking it up. So everything you can really, kind of eat with fork and knife if you want to keep that messiness off the hands.
There's that caterer coming out in you, isn't it?
Sometimes, yes. So
You think of everything.
we try. And sauteing everything down as well. You're gonna mix all those flavors in there with it as well. This sausage cooks off, and just the grease a little bit from that sausage is really gonna flavor up the potatoes and the corn. and even the shrimp as well once they go in. So
Yes.
cooking it that way in the pan really adds a different flavor and texture to the dish than what you would if you were to boil it.
All right, I like the way that butter's looking right now.
Yeah, butter's
So-
nice and melted. Just a little bit of a smoke there where we're not going to burn the butter.
Oh, that's the sound we're looking for.
Sizzle we're looking for. We'll put the potatoes in, and they'll get a little crispy on the outside and hot all the way through, and we'll just keep adding components to it.
This is a great one-dish meal here,
It
guys.
is. I mean, it is easy to do. Again, nothing really too hard to it, and goes together pretty quick. You know, you're talking, you can probably, you know, have this finished in a 30-minute period. So, real simple, easy to do.
Sure is.
Right.
I'll pull this oil out of the way. Maybe I'll get a little bit better view of everything.
Excellent. So just like a low country to boil, we have all our components here: corn, sausage, onions, potatoes. Onions in there. Those are going to break up and make a real nice unity of flavors.
They'll
And
caramelize a little bit.
essentially, that's what you're doing inside the boiling pot to begin with. So why not do it at home in the skillet and serve up something real nice?
Sure, especially when you have inclement weather and can't do things
Sure.
outside.
That's the other component too.
Perfect.
Exactly. You're all inside under a roof, no problem there at all. Get the house smelling nice and,
Yes.
and with all those different flavors with the sausage and the butter especially, for sure. So again,
Perfect.
no time to it. You know, we're basically just putting everything in there all at the same time. That'll all heat evenly through, cook evenly through. Once the potatoes are, you know, getting a little bit of that, you know, crust, I call it, on the outside of them, and you see the sausage kind of starting to glaze over a little bit, you're almost ready to go to add the shrimp. And then once you add the shrimp and those are cooked, the dish is done. So I think in
Perfect.
just a couple minutes time, we've managed to kind of put all this together.
We sure
and
have.
Dave is just seasoning the shrimp with a little bit of Creole seasoning, salt, pepper, you know, some granulated garlic that we're throwing in there. We're gonna throw a little bit of cayenne in there. He's putting in there now for a little bit of heat. Again, you can make the call on that if you'd like to go hot,
Yep.
or just a little bit. But that cayenne will
They
do
call
it
that to taste, right?
to taste for
To
sure.
taste.
So you can have some red pepper flakes to that if you'd like to, for sure.
And I just opened up a little bit of space for the shrimp there. So when they hit the pan, they're not fighting with the other food that's in there. So
There you go.
I'm gonna lay those guys flat, nice and hot. And we're gonna get those guys cooking.
And Mike, you all are full caterers.
We are full.
You don't have a
off-site catering.
restaurant or anything
we
like
do not.
that.
We're located downtown. We have our kitchen area and where we keep everything down there, and we load it all up and go wherever the event is.
Have food will travel,
You
right?
got that right. You got that right. Anywhere
No doubt
you'd like
about
us
that.
to
Any
go. So-
size?
Any size,
catering
yeah,
event?
yeah. I mean, we do
Small,
we
large?
do little dinners from 10 to 15, all the way up to 1,000 or so we've done.
Oh,
So
wow.
anywhere in between we'll do. So yeah.
Sounds
if,
good.
you can have us, we'll come. So
Okay.
a lot of stuff downtown we do for sure.
Yeah.
Travel around the area from Mobile to Biloxi and Destin and Orange Beach and Perdido, all that as well.
You've
So
got a
we're out and about.
website
We
that
do.
everyone can go
Produ-
to.
Yeah, culinaryproductions.net is the website. Lots of information on there with regarding menu items and kind of our services and what we provide and what we
Right.
can do for our clients. We try to really go the extra mile with helping with the other preparations outside of food, from
Yes.
rentals to
Yes, all those tedious little things.
Exactly, all the way down to bar services and whatnot that
Oh,
we can help
that's
out with.
great.
So yes, try to really help out the client.
And I love your themed events.
Yes, we have lots of different themed events that we do. The staff likes that. It's just we do a lot of weddings. So weddings, vary, but are a lot the same. So the themed parties and whatnot, where even the staff kind of gets involved with dressing up and whatnot.
Oh, how
they like that
fun.
type of stuff for sure. So
fun.
always a good time.
Yes, perfect.
And I think Dave, while we've been over here jabbing, he's finished off the
Just like that.
Yep.
the skillet and pretty much ready to plate it up.
Yeah.
That was quick, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna add a little bit of seasoning. And that's to taste. You can make sure that you always try as you go, because the last thing you want to do is to have it over seasoned, because you can never take away, but you can always add. So
Right.
I'm just going to drop the color of the green onions in there at the end there. And while this cooks off, we can just start plating it up. So we'll take a few
And
potatoes.
totally helps out again with those parboiled potatoes.
Oh, it really does.
Still be cooking.
And taking the corn off the cob.
Oh yes,
Look
for
how
sure,
quick that
for
cooks.
sure. Right, and again, I think really absorbs those flavors in there from the sausage to the seasoning.
And
So,
it's easy to eat.
very
Easier
easy to eat. Exactly. I mean, really, it's pork food.
Right.
Again, another reason why we like doing it this way sometimes is if you want to have just a more casual setting.
Sure.
Where maybe you're not going to sit down to dinner, but you want something of this nature. You can cut your sausage down a little bit smaller, stuff like that, to really help your guest create that kind of pork food.
Sure, and of course you can plate this or set it out for everybody to have a little part of. This just gives you so many different options and a lot less mess, I think, than hitting the newspaper and the milk crates and that kind of thing.
Yes.
So,
Exactly.
While you finish this up, we're going to take another commercial break.
All right.
We'll have it all dolled up for everybody.
fantastic.
When we get back,
Sounds great.
stay with us.
Cooking with natural gas is more controlled than using an electric range. But more importantly, they're less expensive to operate. Don't get burned with electric. Learn more at PensacolaEnergy.com. Heat pumps don't pump much heat. In fact, heat from an efficient natural gas heater can be 30% warmer, and you can get up to an $800 rebate when you install one. Warming up to natural gas yet? Learn more at PensacolaEnergy.com. Heating water with electricity versus natural gas can cost twice as much, and tankless natural gas water heaters can add even more savings. So don't get soaked with higher energy costs. Learn more at PensacolaEnergy.com.
And David, you are putting the garnish,
Yeah.
getting it prepared for our dish. Look at that dish.
Yes, it's
Wow.
good enough to eat, I think. Hopefully. Oh. But yeah, just some fresh parsley that we're going to chop up, put over the top of it for garnish and a little bit of flavor as well. We've put a little bit of French bread slices on the side to kind of eat with everything, and you're good to go. Easy as that.
I'm going to really enjoy this meal
hope so.
today.
I hope so.
Oh, I can tell already.
All right.
Good deal.
Well, we're going to move right along to our bread pudding. What we've done is just tore up some French bread into, about cube-sized pieces, thrown a few bananas in there. We're going to start off with 8 eggs and about a quart of milk.
Okay.
We're going to add that guy in there.
And you just whisk it together, and that's what we're just going to pour right over the top of the bread and bananas.
Great. And a cup of sugar.
Yeah, a cup of sugar, a little bit of sweetness to it. And we just whisk that together and get it all incorporated. And then, this we'll just pour it over the bread pudding mix here. It goes in the oven about 375 or so for about 25-30 minutes until it gets nice and golden on the top. We always like to kind of shake the pan, make sure there's no jiggle or wiggle in there.
Right.
That kind of is another indicator that you're pretty close.
Okay, do you need to let it set to soak everything in or not?
Yeah, we like to kind of let it set up a little bit to soak in all those flavors for sure. And then same thing when it comes out, let it just sit in the oven for a few minutes, let it rest a little bit and cool down some, and you're good to go.
Good.
Yeah. We'll give it a
And then,
little push
we
there.
just kind of mash down in there, and then it goes right in the oven, and that's easy.
At what
enough.
temperature, Mike?
About 375.
Okay.
About 350, 375, just depending on your oven if you're coming in and out of it a lot.
Okay.
And then we're going to make a banana praline sauce to go over the top of this as well, which is pretty, again, quick, basic, and easy. Some butter, some brown sugar, a little bit of cream, and a little bit of banana liqueur to add that banana flavor to it.
So I think we're mixing really two great Southern dishes into one fantastic combination. The love child of banana pudding and bread pudding and banana Fosters, and you really can't go wrong with that.
No.
So we got a nice high burner right there, and we want to get our pan pretty doggone nice and hot because we want to burn some of that alcohol out of that creamed banana.
Okay.
But we're just going to put together that real simple praline sauce with some brown sugar and some heavy cream. Some bananas, and we're going to pour that right on top of our bread pudding, and it should be fantastic. Real decadent and some amazing stuff.
Yes.
So.
And again, pretty easy and quick to put together if you'd like to. The bread you can definitely, and again, a little bit stale is good for bread pudding.
Yes.
So you could tear those chunks off, put it in your pan the night before, just a little bit of saran over the top of it, and just let it sit, overnight. And then come in the next day and put that egg mix over the top of it. So again, a little bit of pre-preparation will go a long way with this dish as well.
All right.
So Dave, just put the banana liqueur in there. It's going to burn off some of the alcohol there. Throw our bananas in there, get that flavor going in there, a little bit, soften them up just a little bit more. And then add the brown sugar, and that'll really bring all those flavors. And that's pretty much it.
Wow.
It goes together quick.
Yes.
And
it is a quick dessert.
And it's a little bit of feel as well, with the brown sugar and the butter. We're going to go about half a cup to a cup on it. Depending on how much butter we have in there, and when you just kind of whisk it together, that brown sugar just melt right into that butter and create a little bit of a caramel sauce.
Oh, perfect.
Yes. Very tasty.
While David finishes this, I'm going to give everyone our telephone number. If you would like written copies of today's recipes, you can call Pensacola Energy at 436-5050 or visit our website, www.coastalcooking.com. Our sauce looks great, David.
Fantastic. Yeah, we're just going to put a little touch of heavy cream in there to unify everything, that oil from the milk. And you just need about a teaspoon or so. And you want to take it off the heat and just give it a stir. And then while that's bonding, we can put that last piece of bread pudding on there.
Look at
We
this.
plated up the bread pudding, just right out of our pan. We have sprayed the pan down as well with a little bit of nonstick cooking spray to help it kind of come out of the pan. You can also, again, a dish you can make your own. You can add raisins to this, maybe little raisins to it if you'd like to. Leave them in, leave them out, whatever you'd like to do with it. So, again, easy dish to make yourself, but we have plated it up. Dave's going to pour the bananas praline sauce right over the top of it. We've added a few extra sliced bananas in there as well, just for some extra flavor and garnish and look to it. And that is the banana
That is
praline.
some dessert there.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that.
No,
Wow.
not at all.
And you can do that individually. You can serve it, buffet style, like we have it there. You can take as much as you want, and it's great the next day. So
Exactly.
fantastic
This
stuff.
looks like the cover of a Southern Living magazine.
Well, I like it.
Beautiful
I like it.
dishes,
Well,
and I
thank you.
know
Thank
they're
you.
going to taste as good as they
Yes,
look.
they
I'm
better.
Sure. I don't see how that could not happen. But gentlemen, this has been so much fun. We want to
thank
tell
you.
everyone if they want to use your services, call early.
Call early, yes. We book up early. They start booking, especially weddings. They're 6-8 months out, sometimes a year out with us booking. So
Oh,
we're
my
booking well
goodness.
into next year already. So call
Any
quick.
size event.
Any size event, small to large, 20 people, 200 people, whatever it may be. We can help you out for sure.
And it's turnkey.
It is, and you create your own with us. So our menus are all a la carte. So you create your own menu.
Okay.
We customize it to your likes, your stay away from your dislikes,
Right.
stuff like that. So we really get creative and customize those menus for each client.
Perfect. And if I want you to fix Grandma's cake,
Grandma's,
chocolate cake,
we
you'll
can
do it?
Family recipes
Perfect.
all the time. We encourage that. We really like that. There are some recipes of my mom's that we use a lot of that we get a really
great.
good response from. So those are there as a staple for us. But yes, family recipes, we're not just pinned down to our menus. So we'll do whatever.
Okay. And of course, we want everyone to visit your website.
Yes, culinaryproductions.net
.net.
is the website, or you can just give us a call, 850-469-0445.
Okay. These are great guys. As you can tell, they do fantastic work. And we appreciate you being on the show again.
Thanks for having
Thank you.
us, for sure.
It's always so much fun when
Yeah,
y'all come.
good
Great to
time.
be back.
Yeah. Well, we hope you'll come join us next week again for more Coastal Cooking.
This has been Coastal Cooking with your host, Carmela Campbell. Coastal Cooking is brought to you by Pensacola Energy, clean, efficient natural gas. Join us each Sunday at 6 p.m. for more Coastal Cooking.